You should always expect
'Cause for whoever doesn't know and has been listening to him, we're at a community forum tonight, and we're at Loma Verde, the new facility where they have the pool and everything. If you have a chance, share and get other people in the room to watch it. We'll also be streaming the sign lighting tonight, so stay tuned. We got a full night ahead of us.
Well, I was concerned there was going to be like a night, but I guess it's a national like franchise. It's not like another. No, it's sort of like
I would have liked to make it to quarter.
Thank you for your service. So how many tours of Vietnam? Thank you for doing that. I did 2 tours and was Bronze Star recipient. Which is rare. Okay. He was one in country, and then another time he was essentially on the Bunker Hill. So I think it was pretty probably similar to Well, that's always the thing. We're always better than Thank you for taking care of me.
She sent her spies.
Oh my God! He's a spy. He's a spy.
I just said that.
Yes.
I'm playing with him though.
Don't break his case up recording. He's not Alonso. He is a piece.
Oh yeah.
It was really easy, just like it was really
Come in at like 3:30.
Oh, okay.
For the first time in the office.
Sometimes they go till like 9 p.m.
I remember it's the end of January because I think we made the comment like now it's February. Now we're ending the meeting in February. They should just push it.
I'm sorry.
11, then they can either decide amongst themselves like and the last week with all the planning stuff was
I'll say hi to
I just hope you guys are going to be nice to meet. I think she's
Did you from Carolina? That might be other friends. What we said we were doing. I know what you told you. Just walk you're going to be really over there. I know what you're saying.
raise so too. I'm trying to work like
We're not late. I purposely invited by 30. Oh, I did. Oh, yeah, they mentioned last week.
Yeah, so
Everybody get started, everybody.
I'm just telling you. I can't after.
Hello, welcome everyone.
everybody, if we can just have your attention, please. And Chris, if you want to keep that. Hi, I'm Cal McCann. I'm the mayor of the city of Chula Vista. This is a great representation today. I grew up off of Orange Avenue. I got swimming lessons here back when the pool wasn't as nice, but it's much nicer now. And played Little League at Max Field. I'm here to introduce somebody I think is really, really special. We had an appointment, and Rachel was one of many applicants. And I have to say, there was an issue with Harborside Park. I wanted to keep it open. Unfortunately, some of my council members didn't want to. And she was there on the grassroots, on with the people, making sure that we could try to do better. And Rachel, if you've ever seen her work, she's just incredible. I know, I always say South Bay Community Services, and Kathy Limbaugh always says, no, you can't say that anymore, because we're not just in the South Bay, but SDSC, and Rachel did such a great job. And the thing that just really made me want to make sure that we appointed her was that she truly cares about the community, and she's really here to help. And I'm just so excited because she becomes an appointed council member, and then suddenly she's now doing these community outreaches, which I think is outstanding, is just really, really neat. So without further ado, I'm really excited to have Rachel Marino to be able to be your council member here until December. I was very excited to make the motion, and we were able to get a unanimous vote, because I think it shows you what great leadership she has. So please give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Mayor McCann. Gracias a todos a estar aquí con nosotros. I just want to thank everybody. So, Mayor McCann has dicho muchas bonitas cosas de ella, ¿verdad? I just know that Mayor McCann just said really wonderful things about me. So, I'm really honored to be here. And if you know, I would get really choked up because I'm just so passionate about this community. I've been in this community for a little over 30 years, and my children grew up in this community. They learned to swim in this pool also. My dogs and I were walking in the back over here, and it's just really a beautiful, vibrant community, and I am so proud to be here and represent you all in this position for this short time. But know that I've been doing this type of work and working with the promotoras and working with the resident leaders and community members just like all of you to really, bring this community to the vivacious, just area that we know that it is. And I know that if you live here, you really understand how much we are like a big, big family, right? And so, con eso nomás quiero cambiar un poquito de español. I'm just going to switch over a little bit. Pero nomás esto, sabes que uno tengo ahorita para estar aquí con todos ustedes. Ya sabes que soy llorona, ¿verdad? Pero siempre, el pasión que yo tengo para esta comunidad y todo, trabajando con todos de ustedes es algo que nunca voy a olvidar. Pero nomás quería, mi posición ahorita es nomás a representar a ustedes el más mejor que yo puedo y con su voz, ¿verdad? Siempre necesito tu ayuda, tu voz, y quiero representar esta comunidad como necesita representar en toda la Chula Vista, toda la ciudad de San Diego, porque nosotros somos como una familia muy grande, right? Y con eso voy a cambiar un poquito, okay? So I really I think this community has, for lack of better word, words, we've been, underrepresented for a little bit, right? And I think these voices, we have so much passion, so much strength in this community, that I'm here to support you in all of these different types of things, okay? My door is open. If you have not had an opportunity to meet my amazing staff person, Christopher, say hello to everybody. But he is very attentive and he supports our community. And he's been there. I've been working with him for a few years now. Even my bodyguard at one point. We're just together. We make a really great team, and I'm very, very lucky to have Chris on our team. So feel free to reach out to all of us because we're here to work with you. And our door is open, and we prefer having nice conversations. We really want to represent you, but we can't represent you out of anger. Let's work together. It's going to take all of us to really continue to create a better community. And I just welcome everybody that has, I know it's tough. Every street, every corner, every house, every baseball park, we want to fix it all. I want to fix it all. And we have to do this together. So I just really, with patience, your council members, myself, we are here to serve you. And we really just want to do the best that we can. Yo nomás quiero decir, si no tienes, no ha conocido el Christopher, no habla español, pero él es un trabajador tan bueno y yo tengo mucho trabajando con Chris. Y ustedes ya saben cuando él estaba trabajando en la ciudad con nosotros, pero hasta él estaba con seguridad, estaba trabajando conmigo en la yo nomás quiero decir que nosotros tenemos un puerto abierto, todos estamos aquí para trabajar para ustedes, pero juntos, ¿ok? Eso nos quiero decir otra vez. But yes, so living in this community, las cosas. Les estaba diciendo que nosotros queremos hacer muchos cambios, ¿verdad? I forgot that part about all the changes we wanted. Nosotros queremos hacer muchos cambios, ¿verdad? Y podemos hacer el más mejor que podemos, pero juntos. Y necesitamos muchas cosas, muchas calles, necesitamos los lugares donde los niños pueden jugar a béisbol, tenemos las albercas en los parques, todo. Necesitamos mucho trabajo en esta ciudad para hacerlo el más mejor que podemos, pero tenemos que trabajar juntos. Y yo estoy abierto para trabajar con ustedes y hacer como el voz de ustedes. Okay. I'm going to come back a little bit later. We do have one of our presentations that has to get started. One of the areas that we hear a lot at council is that we're not providing enough information to everybody. This is something I've been hearing for a lot. Transparency, the agendas, how do you read the agendas? What does the agenda mean? How do I get the agenda? How do I get it before the council meeting? And so some of you may not know how to get that, and I wanted to make sure. I want to start with transparency. That was something that almost every constituent comes to tell me is that transparency. And that's something that I want to make sure that you all, from my end, that I'm going to do the best that I can in those areas. Una de las cosas ahorita, tengo una persona o dos personas que van a venir a presentar ahorita. Las cosas que yo estoy oyendo mucho es que personas no saben cómo agarrar la información. ¿Por qué estamos votando en un lugar o por qué estamos dando la información? Pero hay lugares en el sistema de la ciudad donde pueden entrar, agarrar la información antes de las juntas de nosotros. El mismo información que le dan a usted allí es el mismo que nosotros estamos mirando. Nomás estamos mirando acá y también allá y juntando con personas igual como ustedes. Yo quiero dar la información el más mejor que puedo y estoy también otra vez nomás aquí para trabajar con ustedes, pero quiero apoyar a ustedes con información cuando necesitan. Okay? So with that, I would like to introduce our city clerk's office, Ms. Carrie Bigelow and Ms. Carla Mendez.
Everyone, I'm Carrie Bigelow. I'm the city clerk here in the city of Chula Vista.
Hola, buenas noches a todos, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Carla Méndez, yo soy con el departamento de comunicación y el día de hoy voy a estar traduciendo todo lo que va a decir Carrie Bigelow y ella es nuestra secretaria municipal de la ciudad de Chula Vista.
So one of my roles as the city clerk is to make the community aware of the open public meetings that are held by the city council. and help the public participate in that decision-making process.
Una de mis funciones es hacer que la comunidad esté enterada de las sesiones públicas abiertas que se realicen en el partido de la ciudad.
The City Council meets regularly the first 4 Tuesdays of each month at 5 o'clock p.m. at City Hall, which is over on 4th Avenue and F Street.
El Cabildo se reúne periódicamente los primeros 4 martes de cada mes a las 5 p.m. en el ayuntamiento de la Cuarta Avenida y la calle E.
So all City Council meetings are open to the public. Anybody can come and watch the meeting and comment on any items. If you can't come in person, you can also watch the meetings online on our website at www.chulavistaca.gov/council-meetings. You can watch live and recorded videos, and Spanish translation is available in person if you come to the meeting, and the video is also, you can watch it in English or in Spanish.
Todas las sesiones están abiertas al público. Cualquier persona puede asistir y comentar sobre los temas de la agenda. Si no puede asistir en persona, puede ver la sesión en nuestro sitio de internet en www.chulavista.gov/council-meetings. Puede ver este video en vivo o grabado. La traducción al español está disponible y el video también está traducido.
So the law in California requires that an agenda be prepared for every. The agenda describes the items that the city council is going to discuss, so this is a really important thing. Everybody have one? We're going to follow along on one. We have English or Spanish. I'll pass one out for you, so just raise your hand if you need an agenda.
La ley de California requiere preparar una agenda para cada sesión del Cabildo, describiendo los temas que se van a discutir. Esta tarde explicaré cómo está la agenda y dónde pueden obtener más información. Ahorita están pasando agendas. Si no tienen una, por favor,
Anybody else need an agenda?
¿Alguien más?
I can speak louder. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, I'll speak louder. Okay. So the first page of the agenda has the information about the meeting. So it has the date of the meeting, the location of the meeting, the time that the meeting will start. Most of the meetings are held on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. at City Hall, but the City Council can also hold special meetings that might be at other days, times, or locations.
La primera página de la agenda tiene la fecha, hora y lugar donde se llevará a cabo la sesión. La mayoría de las sesiones se llevan a cabo los martes a las 5 de la tarde, pero el Cabildo también puede llevar a cabo sesiones especiales en otros días, horarios y lugares.
Below is information on how to make comments on items, so this is your opportunity as members of the public to come and speak to the City Council. When you do come to make comments in person, you'll start by filling out a speaker slip with your name and the item that you want to speak on. And a member of the city clerk's staff sits in the lobby and they'll help you fill out those forms. Especially, if you're new, you haven't come before, we want to make sure that you know how to sign up to speak and that you're comfortable there. You can also use our e-comment system to comment online, or you can email us your comments. Just keep in mind, if you send them online or you email them, they usually have to be received by noon on the day of the council meeting.
A continuación encontrará la información sobre cómo realizar comentarios sobre los temas de la agenda. Puede hacer comentarios en persona llenando una hoja y cuando venga la sesión un miembro del personal de la Secretaría Municipal estará ahí para ayudarlo y ayudarlo a llenar la hoja para registrarse para poder hablar. También puede utilizar nuestro enlace de comentario electrónico que se encuentra por línea para enviar sus comentarios en línea o enviarnos un correo electrónico.
There's information here, the link to watch the city council meeting in English or in Spanish, and then information about accessibility. So If you have a disability or you need special assistance coming to the council meeting, you reach out to my office and we'll help make sure that you get reasonable accommodations so you can participate.
Si tienen una discapacidad o necesitan más ayuda para entender cómo accesar los comentarios, pueden comunicarse con el staff del secretario municipal y ellos nos pueden ayudar para llenar los comentarios.
If you go to page 2,
En la segunda página,
the second page shows at the top where you can find the complete agenda packet. So this that you have is just the agenda itself, but there is a staff report usually for each item. There's draft resolutions, maybe a draft agreement, depending on what the item is. So there's a lot of backup material that go with the agenda. So the link is on there where you can find all of those backup materials that you can review in advance.
la segunda página de la agenda muestra dónde encontrar el paquete completo de la agenda, además de la agenda del personal para un informe, el informe del personal y otros materiales de respaldo para la mayoría de los temas. Puede encontrarlos todos en nuestro sitio de web o en la oficina de la Secretaría Municipal.
So some agenda packets are 200 or 300 pages, some of them are 1,000 pages. So there can be a lot of materials that go along with the agenda that provide you more information on each item that's coming forward.
Algunas agendas pueden tener 300 hojas o más, entonces en el sitio de web se puede encontrar toda la información adicional.
Below that is information about speaking and general public comments. So you'll see here that each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to comment on each item. If you use an interpreter, then you have double the amount of time, so you'll get 6 minutes. And we have interpreters at the meeting. You can just ask us when you come, or you can bring someone to interpret for you if you like.
A continuación encontrará información sobre cómo solicitar el uso de la palabra. Cada orador tiene 3 minutos para comentar cada tema. Si utiliza un intérprete, tendrá 6 minutos y contamos con intérpretes en cada sesión o puede pedirle a otra persona que lo interprete.
At the very bottom, you'll see some terms that you'll see on the agenda, and what each section on the agenda means, what terms and words like resolution means. These are terms that I use every day, but people don't use those every day. So a lot of people don't know exactly what that means. So we've tried to describe them here to help you. We have more information on our website about that as well.
La mitad inferior de la página explica algunos términos que verán en la agenda, tales como qué sirve para cada sección y la agenda y qué significan palabras como resolución. Estos son términos que no son de uso diario. Para la mayoría de la gente no los usa y no saben qué significan. Comuníquese con la oficina de la Secretaría Municipal si tiene alguna duda o pregunta y estarán encantados de ayudarle.
The third page starts each item that will be discussed by the City Council. The City Council can only discuss items on the agenda under California law. If an item is not on the agenda, council members can make a brief statement, but they can't have any further discussion. So if they want to talk about something that's not on the published agenda, it has to come back at a later meeting.
La tercera página de la agenda comienza con la lista de los temas que se discutirán en la sesión. El cabildo solo puede discutir los temas que están en la orden del día. Cada tema tiene su título y una descripción de la acción que podría tomar el cabildo.
So if we go to page 7,
Si van a la hoja 7
and look at item 5.10,
y en el tema 5.10,
you can see on the agenda here, and this is last night's agenda, so you can see what council talked about yesterday.
y es la agenda de ayer en la noche.
5.10 is, you can see here, it's an agreement amendment. So it's amending the EMS billing and collections agreement. EMS is emergency medical services.
Por ejemplo, si observa el tema 5.10 en la página 7, puede ver que el tema es sobre una enmienda a un acuerdo de servicio médico de emergencia para aumentar los montos anuales y generales del acuerdo. A continuación, en la sesión, acción recomendada, la recomendación aumentaría el acuerdo de 1 millón por año a 3.250 millones en total durante la vigencia del acuerdo.
Below that is the location. So if an item going to city council is related to a park or to a recreation center or somewhere physical in the city, we'll put the location there, so that way you can see easily if it's in your neighborhood.
En la parte de abajo ponemos la ubicación. Si tiene una ubicación, la ponemos ahí para que las personas sepan si va a estar en su vecindario, cerca de ellos, y puedan ir a opinar sobre el tema.
And below that is the recommended action. So you can see on this item last night, the action was to adopt a resolution, which is the council's formal decision, to approve this First Amendment. And the amendment is to increase the annual amount to $1 million, and then the overall amount of the agreement to $3.25 million.
Entonces, hasta abajo encontrarán la resolución, lo que cómo votaron cada de los regidores y la recomendación, la acción recomendada fue aumentar el acuerdo de un millón por año a 3.250 millones en total durante la vigencia del acuerdo.
Let's go to page 8.
Vamos a la página 8.
Item 6 is public comments. So this is the section on every regular agenda where anybody from the public can come and speak on any item that's not on the agenda, but that the city council has control over. So sometimes people will come and they'll speak about a problem with their sidewalks, they'll speak about their parks. Some people have concerns, some people want to say something that, that happened to them or that they appreciated, a park that went in, or that they have some ideas about what they want to do. So that's item number 6, and that's on every regular agenda.
Vamos a la página siguiente, que es la página 8. Veamos el tema 6. Cada agenda para una sesión regular incluye una sesión para que cualquier persona del público hable con el cabildo sobre temas que no están en la agenda, que están bajo la responsabilidad de la ciudad. A veces la gente habla de algún problema acerca de su vecindad, cómo mejorar parques o cualquier otra cosa que esté bajo el control del alcalde y los regidores.
I want to talk for a second about coming and speaking in front of the council. That can be a little bit intimidating for some people. I can tell you most people who come and speak in front of the council, they're not public speakers. They're not people who usually get up and speak in front of the council or in public places. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay if it's your first time. I highly encourage you to come out and be involved in the meetings, because the city council wants to hear from you and the city wants to hear from you. My staff is in the lobby. We'll help you register to speak. We'll help you find a place to sit. And then it's easy. Once it's your turn to speak, I'll just call your name, and then you'll come up and you'll have a timer set for you so you know how long you have to speak. So if you haven't spoken in public before, we have children come speak sometimes. We have people of all ages and all communities come and speak to us. So I encourage you to come and speak.
Who's been to council before and spoke publicly? That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Quiero hacer un comentario sobre hablar en público. La mayoría de las personas que hablan ante el cabildo no hablan en público con regularidad. Es natural estar nervioso y gran cantidad de las personas lo están. El personal de mi equipo estará disponible para ayudarlos y registrarse para poder hablar y responder preguntas que puedan tener. Cuando sea su turno de hablar, dirán su nombre y usted se acercará al micrófono. Verá un cronómetro frente a usted para que pueda realizar sus comentarios con el tiempo adecuado y podrá hablar durante 6 minutos si necesita intérprete, o 3 si no.
So the agenda is usually published on Thursday before the Tuesday city council meeting. So that way you have at least 5 days to know what's going to be on the agenda and look through the materials that the city council received. Any materials the city council receives, we automatically make those immediately available to the public as well.
Todas las agendas se publican el jueves antes de la junta, que es el martes, y así está toda la información disponible para el público, para leerla, repasarla y hacer cualquier comentario que tengan con respecto a las cosas, los temas de la agenda.
So I mentioned before that there are attachments to each item. So this is just one piece of the materials that you can access for the meeting. This is the smallest piece, but it's important because it has all the items listed. If you want to access the attachments, so that would be a report that staff could write, providing more information about each item. That's on almost every single item. Sorry.
Lo que tienen con ustedes ahorita es la agenda básica, pero en el sitio de internet, si buscan, también hay una agenda que tiene cosas añadidas, donde están los comentarios de staff y cualquier otra información relacionada con el tema que están buscando.
So when you go online, you can click on the item and it'll open a list of all the attachments.
Cuando van al sitio de internet, puede el tema que les interese y van a ver todo lo que está junto a ese tema.
The attachments could be a staff report, could be a resolution. If it's an agreement, it could be the draft agreement that's on there. That's where you can find all the details. So the agenda is meant to give you an idea of what the city council is going to talk about. And then you either go online or you can come to the city clerk's office. We have it all printed out, so you can come and look at the backup materials to each item. But that's where you'll find much more information about each item that the city council will discuss.
Y van a ver información sobre reportes del staff, de la ciudad, resoluciones y acuerdos que tengan que ver con el tema. Si tienen más preguntas, pueden visitar las oficinas de la ciudad y hablar con las secretarias municipales y ellos pueden responder todas las preguntas que tengan con respecto a cualquier tema que estén aplicando.
Does council members get a special agenda?
That's a great question. No, council members don't get they don't get anything different than what the public gets. And they don't get it at a different time either. So when we publish the agenda online with all of the attachments, the council gets it at the same time. We're publishing through one system that goes online for the public and to the city council at the same time.
La pregunta fue que si el alcalde y los regidores reciben una agenda diferente. La respuesta es no. Todo lo que se publica el jueves antes del martes de la junta es el mismo material para el público que para los regidores y el alcalde.
You can sign up to get an email anytime the agenda is published. So each Thursday or whenever it is that we publish the agenda, we'll send you an email. There's a sign-up sheet on the table over here. It's a white sign-up sheet. You can leave your name and email address. You can also go on our website and sign up to get emails as well.
Si les interesa, se pueden registrar para recibir correos electrónicos notificándoles de que ya está publicada la agenda para esa siguiente junta. Hay dos maneras que se pueden registrar. Una es a través del sitio de internet y la otra hay una hoja en la mesa que se encuentra allá. Si deja su correo electrónico, los vamos a registrar para que ustedes puedan recibir esa información.
Also on the table are business cards for the city clerk's office. So if you have any questions about the city, how do I speak to council, what's the council talking about next time, what does this mean on the agenda, all kinds of things, how to access the city if you want to get public records, if you want to serve on our board or commission. That's all through the city clerk's office. And if you don't know where to go, start with me, and I might not be the one to help you, but I'll make sure that you get to the right place.
Y si tienen cualquier pregunta y no saben a dónde ir, pueden empezar con ella. En la mesa también hay tarjetas con sus datos, información y pueden contactarla, hacerle cualquier pregunta y de ahí ella les puede guiar hacia la información correcta.
And that concludes my presentation. Do we have time for questions?
Si tienen preguntas, or you guys have any questions? No questions? That's it. Yes.
It's about the material that you received, any special, the special agenda, not the special agenda, but that part that is. We didn't receive it at the same time, or that's something that we have.
And that's a great, thank you, but no, we all get the same thing, that as soon as it's released, we get it also, and I think there's a kind of theory out there that we have more information than everybody else does, and I even thought that, I said, do I get an agenda? Like, yeah, you got your agenda, you can get it online, so I'm okay, thanks, but, yeah, so there was a perception that, we have more information, but we have to do our studying. Yeah, I have to do lots of studying. Last night was a very long agenda, and there's lots of little things that and believe me, that was my weekend. So right now I'm giving up my weekends, to kind of pretty much do the studying and things like that. And even us council members, we cannot even talk with each other around items. Like, that's another thing too, is we're not supposed to be sharing information, not with Carrie, but with the other council members. So if I want to even know, like, I wonder what they're thinking, I'm allowed to talk to like one of them, but I can't share information with another one because of the Browns Act. So la pregunta es pues si nosotros tenemos una agenda especial, ¿verdad? Que tiene más información de las cosas, acciones, pero de verdad no, yo pensaba también que yo tenía una especial agenda con toda la información y todo eso, pero es igual, el mismo tiempo que sale en el internet, allí está y nosotros necesitamos agarrarlo de allí también y es el mismo, tengo que estudiar todas las diferentes cosas, acciones para que puedo aprender, para que puedo representarte más mejor. Podemos hablar con ustedes si ustedes tienen y nosotros pues llegan muchas llamadas. So we accept all the calls from you all also. If you have a certain email, call us. I read all of those. Chris helps me go through them also so that I can really understand also where the concerns are from the community and helps me to kind of make a decision and look a little deeper into those. So all the information that you give us is read, for me, at least now I'm able to keep up with it. So nomás toda la información que me mandan del electrónico, el correo electrónico, estoy leyendo para ver también el voz de ustedes si quieren mandarme un text, llamada al teléfono o el correo electrónico. Yo estoy mirándolo y haciendo como la investigación si necesitan mirar por más información. So, no sé si ustedes tienen otras preguntas, pero buen pregunta, Justin, thank you. Y yo también sí pensaba. No other questions on that? Thank you. Thank you, ladies. And for some of you that, I'm sorry if it's like just repetitive, but I really wanted to make sure that the community, that all the community, especially some of those that might have these questions, they just didn't ask, right? Like the agenda. I've been going to these council meetings for years now, and I thought they had special agendas, that's why I asked. So, todas las preguntas que estoy haciendo ahorita, yo tengo muchos años, nosotros que vamos al concejal, a la ciudad, para que podamos ver y la agenda, yo pensaba que ellos tenían una agenda especial por todos estos años. So, todas las preguntas son válidas y quiero dar esta información nomás para que si alguien tiene preguntas, quiero que ustedes, pues que alguien pueda ayudar con eso. Pero el punto es que estamos abiertos, okay? One more thing that keeps, so these are items like the transparency, like where's the agenda, how are you getting all this information, how are you making your votes? Those are things that people are talking to me about, so that's why I wanted to bring our city manager here to address those. The other thing that happens is there's an abandoned car or the sidewalk, my mother, there's a tree in the way and my mom is in a wheelchair. Things like that are really impacting your daily living. And I spoke to many of you here. Like I said, with patience, we'll try to get to everything. And, somebody approached us on a tree, and we went and did what we did. They said the tree is blocking the street and the sign and everything. So we give it to the right department, and sometimes the department says, oh, that tree is now lifting the sidewalk, and that's a hazard, it needs to get chopped down. And that person gets really angry because we addressed the tree issue, but then it opened up another can, right? And that we were just trying to help that family person. So those are things, and I know you saw some of that too on a street, like fixing something and then another problem opens up. So just help us by staying on top of those and reporting those so we can try to help you keep unwrapping that onion, right? So, una de las cosas que pasa es que a veces que estamos reportando unas cosas y estamos aquí para apoyar a todos, pero a veces como el otro día fue un árbol de una casa y el árbol estaba tapando algo cuando mandamos el referencia al departamento, ellos fueron y dicen, oh, ¿sabes qué? Pero ya está subiendo la calle y necesitan acortar el árbol, ¿verdad? Pues se enojó porque el árbol está muy bonito, pero esos son como cosas que cuando es como una cebolla, ¿verdad? Cuando rompes un pedazo, otra cosa sí, ahí está abajo. So, esas son unas cosas que necesitamos la paciencia cuando mandamos al departamento que necesitan hacer. Hay reglas, hay policías que necesitan a trabajar para mejorar ese calle o ese lugar para que puedan hacer el trabajo. So, una de las cosas que siempre están hablando nosotros para que pueden mejorar diferentes áreas, hacer reportes que hay un carro que está en el calle o diferentes cosas, un árbol o necesita, tienen un hoyo en el camino, cosas así. Vamos a tener otro representantes de Public Works que van a venir porque tenemos una aplicación que pueden ayudar a ustedes. Okay? So for those little things like the potholes, abandoned cars, and some of those things that you can help us keep an eye on, we invited our friends from Public Works today, and they're going to help us with an app. We're getting lots of calls. So Chris, I know you've all seen Chris out there, and we gave his numbers, but I'm sure everyone's going to call him. But you can also help us with the app, because this is one way that I know some of the community members use this on a regular basis. But I just wanted, it used to be the See-Click Fix. I was just told that the See-Click Fix app still works, and then, or the act, whichever one, but they both go to the same place and they both help, okay? So, voy a presentar, Angélica, sorry, Aguilar y Eric Work. Gracias. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Eric. So I'll be talking about Actual Vista or See-Click Fix. Raise your hand if you've ever used the app before. You have it on your phone. Perfect. So if you've used it, basically what it is this is a way that you can communicate with the city and report problems in the community. It can be a number of things. We have a bunch of different categories. It's not just public works, but the majority of the items are public works issues. But we also have the police departments on there, park rangers are on there. So I'll go over just quickly how it works, how to download it, and I'll be here for your questions.
I'm just going to dance first. So bye-bye.
Alright. So what is Actual Vista? Well, it's basically a report non-emergency issues to the city. Those are things that basically it's a nuisance, but we'll get to it. For example, a pothole. It's not an emergency, but it's something that needs to be addressed, and we want to get to it as quick as possible. Alright? So what is it? Well, you heard talk about See-Click Fix. So See-Click Fix is the actual brand that actually runs the app. But Chula Vista has what's called Act, which is also like the branded app version of it. A little hint, our neighbors in National City also use See-Click Fix. So if you actually download the See-Click Fix app, if you actually are in National City, it'll automatically revert to let their city know what's going on as well. So you have options. So they're interchangeable. On that website also, we have a knowledge base. We have a link to the city calendar, links to our social media page, and then we have a link to the mayor and the council's website. So what should I report on Actual Vista? Well, there's some emergency issues that we don't want you to report on to see quick fix or actual vista because they need to be addressed immediately. Some of those issues, gas leaks, sewer spills, if you see water coming out of a hole in the ground, don't use the app because we monitor it, but we don't monitor it 24/7. If it's during the work hours, during the day, always call Public Works Dispatch, 619-397-6000. After hours, police dispatch, 619-691-5151. And then, of course, any emergency, 911. Other things that uncover manholes in the street, anything that disrupted health and safety, those are the kind of things that you should be calling. Other things that we consider emergencies, but we may not think are emergencies. If the street light, the red light is out on the street light, or the traffic signal, you should call dispatch or the police department. We will send someone out 24/7 for that. If the traffic signals are on red flash, that's another thing we want to know about immediately. Don't report on the app. If it's a Saturday, call the police department. They will send us out and we will fix the traffic signal. So let's talk about some of the things we want you to report on See Quick Fix. Graffiti, potholes, abandoned vehicles. Traffic signal is taking too long. Say sometimes the timing got a little messed up. Put it on there. Our traffic signal techs and our traffic engineering department will go ahead and we'll do an evaluation. Sometimes what happens is a lot of them will see the cameras on it. Sometimes they're bringing the cameras. When the cameras get affected, they switch to what's just a standard time cycle. Sometimes early in the morning when there's a lot of fog, those cameras don't work because they can't detect the vehicles. So the traffic signal automatically goes into a time, like a classic time stop sign. But those are the kind of issues that we can report on there. Also, the good thing about this too, we can have a conversation with you through the app, right? So say you report the traffic signal is taking too long. Well, say the signal tech goes out there, but it looks fine. They might respond to you on the app saying, can you tell me what time this happened? So those are some of the things too when you're doing this. The more information you put, the easier it is for us. And we'll talk about that in another slide. Once again, street sweeping requests, animal control issues. Animal control is also on here. When you see a dead animal on the road, you can take a picture and then they'll go out and remove the dead animal. Or if you have issues with parking dogs, those kind of things. This is your first way to communicate with them. They'll probably reach out to you and continue, but at least you can start the encounter. And then homelessness issues. If you find encampments or anything like that, you can take a picture of it. That goes to our hot team and to our park rangers, and then we can address those issues. And then another thing that's been actually really successful is the police department with the traffic enforcement. For speeding vehicles, the police department is starting to really use this app a lot because what happens is that they need to know they have only a certain amount of resources. So if they know and you know that they're speeding vehicles in a certain area, they can focus those resources there because they're reporting it. And it's an easy way for them to know where to go. So very good.
Do you want to give Angelica a chance?
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Angelica. Trabajo con obras públicas. Tenemos una aplicación donde pueden reportar diferentes problemas que puedan tener. En esta aplicación tiene donde pueden reportar cosas que no sean emergencias. Pueden ver el calendario de la ciudad. Pueden ver los sitios de social media. ¿Cómo se dice en español? Y tener acceso al sitio de internet de Cabildo. Cosas que no se deben de reportar, que son emergencias, son como incendios, fugas, inundaciones, gracias. Sí. Si está una alcantarilla descubierta, algo así que puede causar daño, entonces les pedimos que eso nos pasen como una emergencia y pueden hablar. Aquí tenemos 3 números. Nuestro departamento es 619-397-6000. Nosotros trabajamos de lunes a viernes, 6:30 hasta las 4 de la tarde. Después de las 4 de la tarde, pueden hablar al departamento de policía que no es emergencia, que es 619-691-5151, y si es una emergencia, pues siempre van a hablar de emergencia. De las cosas que sí queremos saber en la aplicación es si ven basura en la calle, si hay problemas con como animales muertos en la calle, baches, si las señales o los semáforos no están trabajando bien, todo eso pueden reportar en la aplicación.
So what are the benefits to using the C-Click mobile app or actual Vista? Well, it's easy that you can report things. One, if you're right there, you can send us a picture. Pictures help a lot because we can prioritize how bad something is without us going out there. Another thing is, of course, you can report it on your smartphone. This is actually, our crews read your comments. So this is connected to our work management system and they have computers in their vehicles. They read what you write. So if you want to tell them something, it will show up on their request, and they know. They tell me all the time when I do these trainings with them and talk about things. They know areas because they know, and they know some of the residents who are heavy reporters just based on the way the comments are. So they're used to this. But it's a good way to communicate with them, to let them know. So that's why descriptions are really important because it helps them a lot. And then this is, if you open the app at any time, you can see what else is going on in your neighborhood, right? So say you saw a lift in the sidewalk. Well, you can easily see if your neighbor reported it. And then if you try to report it, if someone else already did, it will give you a little alert to say, oh, wait a minute, someone already reported that and we're arguing on it. And then there's just some examples of some of the things, graffiti, sidewalks, down trees, signs.
But does, excuse me, but does, you said it'll alert the neighbor, but can that create conflict? Does the neighbor see your name, I think that's a reason why I'm hesitant to use this, because if you have issues with a neighbor that you don't see eye to eye, I don't want to create friction and conflict.
Code enforcement, they have one category on there, but they don't really accept anonymous requests, but if you want to report a pothole, or we're talking more about things in the right-of-way on the streets, if a sign's knocked down, you can report it. We take anonymous reports on the app, as long as we have a decent picture. You have to create a sign-in that the public can't see, but you don't have to put your name on there. But we can see your name and address, not your name and phone number in case we need to reach out to you for some issue, but it's not visible to the public.
So I have a question, and probably that's the answer now. I've been this is my 2nd year as well. I retire and I see a lot of, neither to a vista than I was used to. But the thing is, because a lot of people does not report because they don't want to be the late and get in conflict. What happened in the past? People have also that, or they didn't have, it was an anonymous report. I don't know.
I mean, you can call, we have our public works dispatcher back there. If you usually call in, we usually just ask for your name and phone number, only because in case we have questions, we can get more information about it. But most of the things we do in public works are not really sensitive in the matter of, your neighbor's not gonna be mad at you that you called us that there's a pothole in the street, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
Right, so those are the kind of things.
Well, if there's a vehicle that's been parked in front of that house for months and months,
so
and nothing is done
abandoned
about it.
vehicles, that has an anonymous way to report. So you can take a picture of it and report it, and then the police department's abandoned vehicle section will go out and investigate it, as long as it's parked in the public right of way.
You know, whenever you report something, they ask you for the whole information. They ask you for your name, your address, your phone number. So I could relate to the lady here. I guess it's about reporting because they want to cause problems with a neighbor.
Well,
So,
it's asking you for the address of the issue, right?
no, it's who you are.
Well, that doesn't show up publicly. So the public on the app, they can't see that information. That goes into the Public Works database.
Yeah, you get to make that public because I don't care. People, they know that I call.
You can
But
turn
you're
it
not
on,
for very
you can
hesitant
turn it off.
calling.
You can turn it off and on, but like I said, a lot of the categories, if you want to report a pothole anonymously, we're fine with that.
Can they do it by phone instead of using the app?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can always call,
Oh,
we'll talk about the end, but you can always call
Yeah.
397-6000. I'll show you some other ways after this.
I think what they're trying to say is that when you go to the history
Mhm.
and you look at all the incidents on a map, like all the pins,
Right.
that it shows who reported it.
Well,
And
it's
that's
got-
what they're
It's got
talking
their
about.
username, yeah.
Right.
But
And it shows where they live.
Right.
So I think that's what they're talking about right now.
I'll have to check that because I've never noticed that.
Yeah, because if you go on the map, it shows a pin, click on the pin, it shows the issue, who reported it, where that person lives and all that stuff.
Alright.
So I think that's a valid concern,
After we,
and I don't think it should be like that.
after I do the presentation, I'm gonna get on there right now and check it, and then I'll be here after all the presentation, we can talk about it.
Okay.
See what's going on.
Thank you.
So how does it work? Well, it's pretty, you take a picture, the location of the problem, you select the category, you put a description, and just like that, it's submitted, it's done. This is something that I want to talk about because I hear this from our crews a lot. I want to talk about good pictures and bad pictures. It's something that we all have problems about, but these are bad pictures. See, so they're trying to report a pothole, but we know what a pothole looks like in Public Works. And so when the crews are driving out there, these pictures don't really help them because they need to know the location. This pictures, please help them because you're already reporting where it is, but now the crew, as they're driving out there, they can see, oh, wait a minute, okay, it's by the 35-mile-per-hour sign, and there it is. Oh, it's right here in the intersection by the high school, right? So when you're taking pictures of things, if you can give some aspect of this, don't just zoom right in. I know it's like, oh, there's a pothole, let me take a picture. But sort of zoom out and give a reference to the area. If you can get some of the street signs, something like that, even though we have your location, it's just, pictures really help the crews, and these pictures, they're gonna know when they get out there what the pothole is. But something like this, it just helps them anyway. So you've submitted an issue, what's next? Once you submit the issue, then you'll get a status update from the system, and then once we complete it, you'll get an email. Also, you get a tracking number. This tracking number is tied to our work management system. Anytime you can call Public Works Dispatch, 619-397-6000, and you can let the dispatcher know. We brought her with us today. If you give her this number, she can give you all the details that you may not see or the status on what's going on for you with your request. And then the other thing is, where can I get this app? Well, it's available in the App Store, so you can either download the C-Click Fix app or Actual Vista. Also, if you go to www.actualvista.com, it will take you to a link with the App Store. And we'll go back.
I have a question. When was the last time that you updated that application?
The Actual Vista app, the C-Click Fix app.
The actual Vista.
That's,
I tried to download it. My cell phone is an old version, and it says that my cell phone is new. It's too new because the app is for an old version. So I would like to know. Is my problem? Or?
You should use it. If that doesn't work, I recommend use the C-Click Fix app because the branded app is usually one behind. The C-Click Fix app gets updated on a regular basis. The Actual Vista app, which is the branded app, connects to the same thing, but it gets updated slower. So if you download the C-Click Fix app, I guarantee you it'll work.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a comment. You're talking about, for somebody that's social media savvy. There are seniors that are not social media savvy. I'm not social media savvy. So, they have to make it easier. It's good for somebody that knows how to manipulate the social the phone and stuff like that. But this and us, they can only dial. So, you know, for those of us that have social media,
Right.
you all have to come up with something to make it easier
Well, we
to report something.
On this next slide, we actually do. So if you don't usually do it on your phone, you can always call Public Works Dispatch and speak to a live person. But also, if you go to chulvista.com/act, if you're on a computer with a regular website, you can do the same thing. So those are your two ways that you really get a hold of us. But
I
there's
think the
always,
phone,
there's
the
always a
phone for
phone.
other seniors.
Yeah, there's always a phone, 6:30 to 4, you can call, you'll always get a hold of someone, and you can put in that request. So that's always another option. We're just giving you another option for people who have phones, who want to use the phone, but we always have the backup option of dispatch. In fact, sometimes, and it's a priority, say there's nails in the road, we don't want you using the app, we want you calling someone. Calling us, we can get out there right away.
Pues los beneficios de usar la aplicación pueden seguir el caso que reportaron, y si otra persona tiene un caso similar pueden ver también las notas que han reportado. Aquí abajo tiene fotos de diferentes cosas que reportan en la aplicación, como perfil, carros abandonados, señales de tráfico que se han caído, el pavimento que está levantado, cosas así. Entonces, el modo de usar la aplicación es tomar una foto, poner la dirección, seleccionar la área del tipo de problema que está reportando y una descripción y hit submit. Sorry. Oye, esos son dos ejemplos de que nos ayudan un poquito más. Las fotos a la derecha son fotos buenas porque nos ayudan a ubicar el problema. Esa foto a la derecha, aunque nos enseña exactamente cuál es el problema, no nos dice en cuál parte de la calle está. Entonces, esas fotos que están más lejos de vernos más. Okay, entonces después que reportan su caso, lo que pasa es reciben y luego un email que dice que recibimos su caso y si es algo que podemos arreglar, damos la información y luego reciben un update aquí, 619-397-6000 y siempre hay alguien que va a contestar el teléfono durante las horas de operación de nuestro departamento, que son de lunes a viernes a las 6:30 hasta las 4 de la tarde. El viernes cerramos a las 3. Después de esas horas, si nos hablan, hay un mensaje que dice que hablen al departamento de policía, el número que no es de emergencias, que es 619-611-5151. Si es una emergencia, entonces se habla. También pueden reportar en nuestro sitio de internet. ¿Alguna pregunta?
Gracias por incluir el teléfono. Porque muchas personas no saben cómo manejar el teléfono o el internet, por eso es muy importante.
Y casi siempre hay alguien que habla español en nuestra apartamento.
All right, and then I'll be available. Need help downloading it or anything else?
Thanks, Eric. And it does say hide your identity from public view. It also doesn't put your address, it puts the address of where you're recording when you put the link in it. So I'm just wondering. You'll double check again? Okay. Okay. So, nos estoy mirando que le hizo como un page report ahorita para checar y se parece como no pone tu identificación de su casa, de su información, ¿ok? Pero va a mirar otra vez para ver si no fue correcto. Pone la dirección de donde está la cosa que necesita atención. ¿Okay? Porque puedes poner como el pin ahí. So you can put like a little pin on there, and hey, I didn't see what you said. So you can put a little pin on there, and it doesn't give your private, but he's gonna double, triple check right now. So now, I mean, this is something I think many of you, again, I said this is just information that I wanted to really go light with our first meeting together. I wanted to get to know everybody. I wanted to just kind of refresh everybody's memory on ways so you can get better connected with the city and then help support us and be the eyes and the ears out there, right? So junta primero nomás quería ser muy, nomás más para conocer a todos aquí y también dar la información que muchos de ustedes ya conocen, pero no refresher, ¿verdad? Porque ustedes siempre son los ojos y los lentes de oídos de nosotros. Y por eso es muy importante que ustedes, que ustedes saben cómo so I apologize for those that have heard this lots and lots of times, but this is my first time meeting people, and these are the things that are still coming to council when they're coming and saying, this and this is happening, and I want to just be able to work all together in this. I do want to invite now some very special guests that are near and dear to me that I've worked with for many years in our community, and I just think that they are examples of, and many of you are, I've seen many of you also, but I wanted to really bring them out today as community members, as moms, as volunteers, donating tons of hours in our community, but ways that they're changing our community and ways that they're really making an impact on streets, on parks, they're going to talk a little bit, I don't want to take their thunder, but I want to just acknowledge the work that our resident leaders are doing in this community, and I know there's many groups, but I invited them here today to kind of share some information with you. So ahorita nomás quiero presentar unos miembros de la comunidad que muchos de ustedes conocen o no, pero ellos son líderes de las residentes y ellos siempre están trabajando en la ciudad para cambiar parques, para cambiar las calles y dar más a la ciudad. Ellos tienen bien comunicación con la ciudad y saben los derechos de cómo pueden comunicar con mucha gente para hacer estos campos. Entonces, aplauso por los líderes residentes voluntarios, Blanca Rodán y Jasmine Cardona.
Hola, buenas tardes. Yo solo hablo español. Mi nombre es Blanca Rodán. Yo soy líder de aquí de Chulavista. Llevo 22 años en Chulavista. Es un orgullo para mí ser líder y enterarme de todas las necesidades que tiene la ciudad, porque nosotros somos el portavoz de la ciudad. De hacerlo. Y para mí es un orgullo. Pudiera hablarles de muchas necesidades, de muchos proyectos que se han trabajado nosotros en equipo, pero por tiempo no podemos. Pero les voy a mencionar uno que es ahorita el parque de Carlos Sáenz, que es un problema muy fuerte que ha tenido la ciudad, de todo el trabajo que ha hecho todos los líderes de la comunidad, con paciencia, todos los que nos ocupamos. Hemos logrado sacar un buen provecho de este tema, porque se cerró el parque para poder empezar a trabajar en la comunidad. Y necesitamos el apoyo de toda la comunidad, que tengamos mucha paciencia. Hemos hecho un proyecto apoyado en todos tenemos el apoyo de la ciudad, pero con paciencia y con insistencia. Es unirnos, hablar juntos y testimonio de los tiempos, si no, tengo mucho tema. Hay muchos proyectos, también tenemos uno que es muy bonito, que es la ciudad lo declaró el segundo mes de de mayo, ¿verdad? Que se llama el Día del Vecino. Ese día se declaró con el fin de que se conozca, que nos unamos más para que trabajemos juntos y hablar no nada más por mi vecina y yo, no, es hablar todos. Ya el vecino somos todos, no nomás es la de frente o la de lado. Ese es otro proyecto. También, como les comenté, la ciudad nos apoyó y para nosotros es un orgullo sentirnos apoyados por la ciudad, pero también, como les menciono, es paciencia, educación.
On the city, also on the state, have been able to troubleshoot Sacramento about the papers, about programs that we need as a community. So for me, it's very important that we know that we have voice and that we can be heard. Not only have the voice to address the issues or to be putting an eye on the problem, but also try to be part of the solution or at least participate in for what we need and how can we make it. And I just want to know that as long as we keep coming to these meetings or as we keep talking and giving a voice on the right way, we will be able to get to the goals that we want our team as a community.
So these two lovely ladies, and it's funny because Jasmine said, "Can I speak Spanish?" She speaks Spanish, but she speaks wonderful. One of those that when we asked her about going and presenting in front of people, she's like, "No, not me," you know. And so when Carrie talks about it, doesn't matter, you know, if you're not a professional speaker, right? I'm not a professional politician. I'm not a, you know, we're just doing the right thing, all of us. And if we can do this all together, we're going to really make some really great improvements. Quiero dar muchas gracias a estas mujeres por todo lo que hacen ellos. Que está diciendo que pues los dos, ¿verdad? Que Jasmine me dijo que quería que ella hiciera esta presentación. Me dijo, no puedo frente de una persona, ¿verdad? Pero aquí estoy, y fue hasta Sacramento y hizo diferentes cosas para representar a todos nosotros aquí. Entonces, nomás con eso, como dijo la manejera de la oficina, de clerk, city clerk, no sé cómo decir en español, pero secretaria de ciudad, entonces, como no somos profesionales, ¿verdad? Nosotros vamos para que podamos mejorar esta ciudad y es el primer la comunitaria para aquí, ¿verdad? Entonces le invito a todos a participar en el concilio con nosotros porque tu voz es algo muy grande, ¿verdad? And just continue to participate at City Council with us because your voice really is important to us. Any questions? Yes, hello.
Hello. Maybe the question has been asked, but there's been so many cancellations of meetings. And how many are allowed?
Since I've been there, I haven't had any cancellations. I've been there since April, but I'm not sure which ones you're referring. They're all on the calendar. Are you talking about committees?
Previous to your.
Oh, okay.
There's been cancellations.
Would you like that?
So could there be an explanation as to
Yeah, thank you.
the lack of public availability of city council?
Thank you.
And then everybody gets paid for not attending city council meetings? That's another question. And that is it.
I'll let you answer that one first.
So the city council meetings are held the first 4 Tuesdays of each month at 5. There are a number of council meetings that are canceled by the municipal code. So the last week in June, first week in July, those ones are typically canceled. Council just reinstituted the June 25th meeting. Last week in December, first week in January, those ones are all canceled by the code. And then after that, the city manager will determine, when certain items need to go. So if there aren't enough items maybe for an agenda, they already got heard at the last meeting and then the next ones aren't going to be ready for 2 more weeks, then a meeting may be canceled in between there. So that's how they get canceled. The city council's salary is not dependent on council meetings. As far as I know, there's a lot of other things that the city council members do. But the city council members' salary is determined by the city charter, which the voters voted on. So they don't have discretion to say, don't pay me this time. They're gonna get paid what they're required to get paid, because that's what the voters voted on and that's what the law is in Chula Vista. So it's not dependent on the meetings that they attend, but you can always reach out to the city clerk's office, to my office, and we can answer questions that you have, but that's generally why meetings are canceled.
I have a question. You said sometimes they cancel because there's not enough items on the agenda. Perhaps those days where there's no enough items, maybe have the meeting and get the public, listen to the public,
Exactly.
Because, town hall meeting, it's kind of, since there's not enough items for the council to talk to us about it, maybe an opportunity for the public to talk to the council.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll write that down.
How can we affect the charter? Because there's a lot of things that the charter needs to be addressing that we're not. And instead of taking the time here to discuss it, maybe you already did earlier, since I arrived late. But, beforehand, with the previous district person that we had, let's not rehash everything, but the fact that we have, since last year, had so many cancellations, completely. And as the gentleman said, you still need to have the meetings in order for the public to come in and be participatory. You want us to be participatory. Don't frustrate us by the fact that meetings are canceled and we don't get told till the last minute that they are. And how can we address the charter in order to change this? And also to prevent what happened with Andrea to continue again, that she doesn't attend meetings, is under indictment, but still receiving salary. And we have no representation in District 4. Should I go on?
So there's two things you're talking about. One is the council meetings and the cancellations. That's not set by the city's charter. That's set by the city's municipal code that the city council can change.
Right.
So I would definitely voice your concerns to your council member, to city manager, your ideas about holding the meetings anyway, or even holding light meetings. The other matter that you're talking about council members attending meetings and the number that they're required to attend, that is in the city's charter. And the charter can only be changed by the public. It has to be on the ballot for the public to vote on. So there's really two paths to make that happen. One is by an initiative petition that the voters in the city could start, where you have to get a certain number of signatures. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many it is, but it's what the number is, but it's 15% of the registered voters in the city at a certain time period. You can contact my office for more information on that. And the other path is through the city council putting an item on the ballot for the voters to vote on. So the council doesn't have the authority to change the charter. That lies with the voters. So you could also petition the council, speak with the council members, relay your concerns, ask for these things to be implemented, and the council could potentially take action to put an item on the ballot. The city also has a charter review commission, and that commission is made up of volunteer commissioners. Those meetings are all open to the public, just as council meetings are. You can attend those meetings, and you can ask the Charter Review Commission also to look at some of these issues. The Charter Review Commission is charged with looking into them in more depth and potentially providing a recommendation to the city council.
I see. What is, define how the city deals, when you said code, there's a city code that holds the meetings to a certain amount, and then certain times that they cancel or not hold meetings at all. How does that work? What is this city code decision-making that?
Can allow it to happen, is that what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, that the city code is what designates the meetings. The ones that are canceled or not held at all are because of city code of some sort that you mentioned?
Yes.
How does that work? And what do they go by holidays, or how do they designate which meetings they're going to cancel?
So the code is updated by city ordinance, which would be an item on a city council agenda. And the code describes the regular meeting schedule of the council, the meetings that are typically canceled by the council, those are in there. Additional meetings can be canceled. Sometimes there's not a quorum of the council. That doesn't happen very often with the council where there's not a quorum. Sometimes it happens with our boards and commissions. when a meeting would have to be canceled last minute. And then the code also gives the authority to the city manager, or, don't quote me, I think probably a majority of the council also could cancel a meeting. But that's all in the city.
We have to put in a request to cancel if we're not gonna be there also.
Yes. Yeah, an excuse
An excused absence, right, so we have to ask permission to be excused also.
I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
We will, if, like, for instance, next month, I will be at a presentation out of the city. And so I have written a letter to the city manager and to our clerk that will be presented at council, and permission will be granted, or I'd have to ask permission to the council. And it really depends on if there's, something that I can be allowed to. So it is record, public, record for everybody also.
So what happens if you don't get excused?
Excuse me?
What happens if you don't get excused?
See, it's a violation. I mean, I'm sure there's emergency if something happened, but.
There's rules in the charter about how many consecutive meetings council members can miss. So if they miss more than that and they're not excused, then the seat could end up being vacant just because they were not excused for those times. So that's typically why council members ask for an excused absence.
Pretty?
I thought that this meeting was going to be in part to discuss Proposition P.
This is not Proposition 18, this is a meet and greet.
Right, okay, good. No, and I appreciate the opportunity, but anyways, thinking that it was going to be, I went to the website to check, and my understanding is that we're missing a representative on the oversight committee for Proposition P.
So I'm gonna get to that through announcements.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Rudy. And let me get to another question back.
I would like to speak about Harborside Park, but I don't know if you are going to work on that one or.
Yeah, we'll bring that one up too. Any other questions before I go to like some announcement? Oh, yeah.
I had a question about the two young ladies that spoke. Where do they have contact numbers? Where do they work out of? Where do you?
So they're community members or volunteers that participate in Resident Leadership Academy courses when they offer. SBCS offers those courses mostly in this area here. I think if they do, I was just gonna ask her if there's one coming up soon. I don't know if maybe when? No. Maybe around August. I'll put it on my website, and if it's out there to share it, I normally share it all over social media. I think they're amazing. So it is, I'll talk really quick about the Resident Leadership Academy, but Resident Leadership Academy is about a 10 to 15 week course, and they go through like policy, advocacy, how to go up and do your public speaking, and really the group, it's a cohort that work together, and they decide a community improvement project that they want to work towards, but then they belong to a whole other bigger group. So we have about over 200, right? We have over 200, and well, from Valle Logan all the way down to San Isidro, Imperial Beach, but most of them are here in Chula Vista.
Okay, and is there a way to join that group, or you can?
So they don't have one scheduled yet, but yeah, maybe you can exchange information with Fati. She's, one of the facilitators.
All right, thank you.
It's amazing. I'm a really big fan of RLA. There's a couple big fans here too. So the RLA, nomás quería dar una información de RLA, es una entrenamiento, academia de liderazgo, y le dan mucha información, es como 10 a 15, 16 a veces semanas, o a veces ponen dos, depende en el clase, depende en como ellos están preparando para empezar en estas semanas, pero es para enseñar reglas, cómo comunicar, cómo hacer los movimientos de diferentes policías de la ciudad, del estado, también de federal. So, ellos juntan como un equipo para trabajar y para que ellos puedan hacer un proyecto para mejorar diferentes cosas, como si es un parque, como alguien allá viene de Harborside. So, hacen muchas cosas aquí importantes y se van de la ciudad y pueden juntar con la alcaldesa y también para que puedan conocer y mejorar su información. So I do have a couple announcements. I know we're running out of time, but Harborside Park. I do want to let you know that we will be having next in July. We're going to have some updates on it. The entire community forum is going to be dedicated to Harborside. We have the group coming in. We have our team coming in. We have our management team coming in. And really going to help us so everybody can get more informed. I do have some great news. We are working towards opening Harborside Park. We hope that it will be open around September, October. There's some really big renovations that need to happen and make sure the park is safe so that our kids can all go and start playing in there. That is really job that this community, I know many of you have been part of that, and that's what you wanted, and you've been fighting, you haven't stopped fighting, and I'm very proud of all the work that you've been doing. And we all want to make sure that it's successful, right? So we're going to do all that we can, but I didn't want to squeeze it into this meeting because I wanted to meet everybody. I wanted to get some information out there, try to, just help others be able to communicate a little bit easier with the city, and then really dig a little deeper next month. But for sure, call us. We are working towards that, so we'll have the hot team. We also have some other parks that are going to be up for discussion. I know at the last park, voy a cambiar en español un momentito, okay. We have another little park people have been asking about on 4th and Oxford, that empty, ugly lot that's there. Yes. Please join us next month because we want to talk. We want to have your ideas. People are talking dog park. People are talking like an open area where our seniors can go and do dancing on Sundays and have the park open, things like that. Some people want checkerboards, tables that can sit there, cement tables. Lots of really great ideas. So we really want to do some strategic planning on that park and figure out what we want to do there. That fire station 4, yeah, that little spot. Measure P. We have the Measure P survey on the table. Please make sure that you complete the survey and get all of your information in because your voice, again, is really important. We really want to hear from everyone. I'm going to go back so I don't get too far, pero quiero invitar por el próximo junta. Vamos a el cosas que vamos a hablar es de Harborside Park. Quería más de la atención de la junta para que podamos discutir todo lo que necesito la información y oír todos tus ideas de qué quieres hacer con este parque, pero sí va a abrir en septiembre, octubre. Necesitamos mucha atención a este parque ahorita porque queremos la seguridad y queremos que todo va bien con este parque, ¿verdad? Ustedes, estoy muy orgulloso de todo el trabajo que ustedes están haciendo para que pueda abrir ese parque y gracias por todo eso que sigues trabajando para que abre. También tenemos otro mini park, más o menos, ahí en el esquina de Cuarto y Oxford, el lugar que está abierto ahorita. Necesitamos ideas también en qué quieres hacer con ese lugar. Muchos de los seniors cuando fuimos a Neighbor Day hablaron de querían como un lugar para las bailes en el centro, quieren un centro de Chula Vista, quieren una parte por perros, quieren donde pegar diferentes cosas con las mesas como dominoes y no sé cómo decir, checkers, cartas, esas cosas. So, los seniors juntaron allá con la alcaldesa y yo, y eso quiero que ustedes pueden también trabajar con nosotros. También cómo quiere a manejar el dinero de diferentes cosas si queremos trabajar con este parque. Este lugar aquí fue de Measure P. So like Loma Verde was one of the Measure P, ideas that came out of that, and so really great ideas come out of Measure P. We have the survey. We really need your voice. Last night they told me we only have about 600 surveys, so please pass them around. Take them to your neighbors. Let's get really what you all want in the city. We do have openings también in the committees for Measure P and also for Park and Rec. So I have representation from District 4. I have 2 openings for Measure P and Parks and Rec. So if any of you are interested in sitting on the table for our committees, and the committees, you can go online, you can read a little bit about them. That's where the decisions are made for the community committees. And so Park and Rec is one, and also, again, Measure P survey is there, and we need everybody's help.
Can I ask you about the Measure P thing?
Yes.
Because as I understand, there are 3 vacancies. A third of the oversight committee is basically missing. Do you know about the other 2 positions as well?
I don't know which district, I'll have to look into that. I know that we're trying to represent on each, make sure that we get the entire city's
Sure.
input, not just one district over, yeah.
Yeah, so but it's as I understand it, there are individuals assigned to represent districts, and then there are individuals assigned to represent other, right?
Yeah.
And so, do you know what those other ones that are missing?
I'd have to look on, I don't know off the top of my head. You'd have to look. I think they're really designated there.
So basically, a third of an oversight committee has been missing for some time, and so it's concerning, given that the city's probably gonna come back to voters to ask them to renew Prop P. And it's something that's important, right?
Right.
You're probably gonna be supporting, and so I think that's an important thing to take a look at.
And I've been spreading it out there to get somebody on Measure P, but I mean, I think everybody here is qualified, so let's get on that council, on that committee.
Can I give you a little more input, actually? Related to the question on the council meetings, that's one thing. But what's canceled all the time are boards and commissions. So many of those, and this is where you're inviting people, members of the public, to come out and participate in civic activities. And it's really frustrating to them when there's no continuity to whatever kind of work they're involved in, whatever kind of ideas they're trying to promote. So this is a really important way to get civic involvement, right? Because they're spending within the city, they're becoming very familiar with their particular area of interest, with cultural arts or planning or whatever, international friendship, whatever and so that's I think a problem. I know that you said there's Parks and Recs, but I think there are other commissions that are also. Some of them don't even have quorums. And so anyways, I would just encourage you to take a look at that. I know that engagements are important to you. This is a really important avenue.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's why Chris and I are on this one. We're really concentrating on, and that is something that has been brought to our attention about the cancellations and things, and so we're just at the top of the barrel on that one, yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you. So we have a couple of big events coming up, and that's the 4th of July celebration. So Chris has that also that you're all invited to out at our athletic training center. If anybody wants to go, we have the flyers that are out over here, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that they're invited there. And wondering if anybody else has any other announcements.
For the 4th of July celebration, are you a way you could provide this for the seniors?
So that's a really great question, because something that I was just aware of. So the city does have transportation for OS out of the area, yeah. Let me look into that. I don't know. That's a really great question.
Yeah, because there's a lot of seniors that would like to go, but they don't have transportation. And the transportation you're talking about, they have in District 1 and District 2. It's very difficult for seniors to use it simply because you call and they put you in a waiting list. So whenever you cannot just go and you have transportation at 3 o'clock. They put you in the list, and whenever the truck comes in. So there's a lot of seniors, if they have time to spend and wait, they'll use it. If not, you need to go to the doctor at 10 o'clock, and you tell me, I need to be at 10 o'clock over there. Well, we'll put you in the list. We might not pick you up. So there has to be a better system.
So we'll take a look at it. Are you saying like they call you like an hour, you try and make an appointment like an hour before, or with time?
Oh yeah, because depending, because they only get so many, depending, they might not pick you up at 10 o'clock, it might be 11 o'clock, it might be 10:30, so that's
We'll look into it, because I know that it just, it's been open like for the entire west side now, where it was before on a certain area, but now it's throughout the whole west side. And then they still do have like only a specific area that they can transport for that.
They stop at L. They don't go any
Yeah,
further than
right.
L. And the unfortunate thing is that there are so many trailer parks behind, beyond L, that so many people are affected that could use it. Be
Right.
it even for doctors, for groceries, for errands that are necessary, not just for pleasure. And that seems to be always the case. Nothing beyond L. Below L gets gets no attention. Rachel, thank you very much for taking this short-term desk over in representing our district. I hope that you can help our district in this short period of time. I have a quick question having to do with your 4th and Oxford Park public input. How much input and how much time? Is there enough time to be effective in deciding from the various opinions that people will give ideas for what to do in that park? When would it even be initiated, and is there money for 4th and Oxford to become a park? And Harborside has had more than a year or 2 years of back and forth, up and down, and it's not moving forward. What does 4th and Oxford with a cement pad gonna do? Quick question.
Yeah, so, like you, I'm a community member. I was a community member before I started here, and so Harborside has been one of my pet projects. So, I don't stop fighting for it, and that's the bottom line is, there's just so many things like that have to take place to make sure that that park is safe for everyone. The mayor is very on top of the Harborside Park opening, and many of the community is opening because the community wants it open. Certain people didn't want it open at one point. And so.
But the mayor seems to vacillate between one idea and another and another. And
so I'm just letting you know where I'm moving towards and what we're doing to make sure the park gets open. Funding right now is available. It's open for when you talk about time and time management and all those I can't give you a definite date. I know that I keep asking, and even Harborside keeps pushing back a little bit, but they're giving me concrete reasons as why, and things that I'm okay with. If a dirt lot needs to be pulled out, or the grass needs to be pulled out because they're finding hypodermic needles in there and they have to go down deeper, then I'm okay with that. Okay, let's
get the cautious in there. Yes.
Let's be super cautious. So just know that those kind of issues, I have the same frustrations, same kind of concerns, and I've had them before I came on this seat, and one of the reasons why I came here. So I thank you for bringing those, and we're doing, like I said, I'm just trying to push things to get through. Like you said, I have a limited amount of time, but I still live in this community. I'm still a resident, and I still have a voice.
And so are we. And my question being, is there money for 4th and Oxford? And what amount of money is there for 4th and Oxford? Especially since it's already been titled as, it's gonna be a park, most likely.
I don't know the exact money right now, but I know that these are areas that are gonna be, everything that we're talking about is public record. So the money, the budget, it's all in there, it's all for your review. But that specifically, I can have you probably some information next one when we talk about it, because it is going to be an agenda item that we're gonna talk about next specifically. Let me get to her because she's been waiting very patiently.
Sure.
Well, I wanted to comment about the corner, that corner, because we having my neighbors, I live on the corners, and my neighbors, we have dogs. And we have been asking for, we want that corner specifically to be a dog's park, and some other residents, they say also community park, community garden. So we are looking for that, and I want to let them know because for the next meeting. And also I wanted to ask about that service that the seniors have. If you have it in here, I didn't know that it's already working in this side of the.
It's not available.
I'll put it on so we didn't bring the flyers on.
Because I have not seen it.
For the transportation. Did you have a
transportation? If the seniors.
Yeah, we were gonna pick those up. But we will get those.
Also, no, because I haven't seen it. That's what I.
Transportation does come here. I just found out also.
Oh, okay.
So that's the funny thing, right? Like I was questioning the department and I didn't really know either. It wasn't clear. But yes, they do come on this west side. So they come
it's
down
on the
here.
west, but
and
only
like she
on
was
this
saying,
end. They are on District 2, not on District 4.
They're in District 4 now too. They do
Yes?
help, they do
Okay.
pick up. And it's not even just for seniors. It's actually $2 and anybody can get a ride. So any age. So we're gonna bring more information. We'll talk more in depth on it.
Okay, great.
But
Thank you.
we can post it somewhere. We'll put it somewhere.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yes.
So I just want to thank you for being part of this and putting this together, because, you know, obviously there's a lot of people. I wish there was more people here, but it matters. And I just want to thank you personally. And I know Chris, just so everybody knows, he's a thorough guy. Like, if you call him, he's gonna look into what your issue is.
Absolutely.
So
He
I can
is
vouch-
fabulous.
I can vouch for this guy right here.
Me too, me too.
Thank you.
I want to take this opportunity to let everybody in this room know, if you're not aware, Rudy Ramirez, he's on the ballot in November. The guy running against him is not here, and I'm not telling you how to vote, but look at his record. He has a criminal record.
Great.
Just look at the record.
Just like
So,
our ex-president.
Yeah.
I'm just
We're
putting
gonna
it out
keep
there.
it off politics right now, and this
No,
part,
it
this
just
is
matters. I'm just saying
I know,
because
I
it
know, I know,
matters.
I know.
Yeah, it's coming from me, it's not coming from you.
Let me go to a
But-
positive thing. Chris is terrific.
Absolutely, that's why he's, he's my
lucked
staff,
out-
you missed
lucked
earlier.
out with having the, because he does answer his phone, and he's a person, not machines that we're dealing with, and poor customer service that you deal with, that you get lost in the telephone pole of nightmares. But I appreciate everything that he has done, and that's why I was saying to you, hey, we appreciate the short time that you're gonna be taking over, but we need answers, we need action. We're so sick and tired of nothing gets done, from L down. It just is constant, the graffiti, the trash. You know, how's the homeless bungalows over there? Are they full? Are they being filled up? What's going on? Because they're still on the streets. And that bungalow fenced off, that they've made it bigger fence and higher, what's going on back there? Are they taking people in? What's happening? The deterioration of the area, ghetto. And the police are doing their job, but they're
So-
only 2 people.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. I don't know if you want to get into the hot topic now, but
Sure,
homeless,
hey.
I mean, we're gonna go on. We're gonna have a full presentation next month. But again, did you have a question? Sorry, Sandy. Yes.
Well, it was on that. You said you were having regular forums. Is it gonna be the second Wednesday of the month, regular like this, or?
Yeah, we were trying to do a pattern of second Wednesday of the month, but we found out that there's a conflict with something, so it might be the third Wednesday, but we were trying to do something it is gonna be every month for sure, but next month it is gonna be the second Wednesday. Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for holding this, and as you can see, it's basically city community that's in your meeting. And thank you for caring for the seniors, and taking your time for doing this. I know you're very busy, and I wanted to thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I mean, again, this is something that I'm doing in the community, and yes, I'm on council, but, and I beg to differ with the changes that in our community. I beg to differ about the trash pickups, the murals, the gardens, the parks. Like, I'm seeing progress in our community. I'm proud of our community, and I really thank everybody. Muchas gracias a todos, porque yo estoy mirando cambios en esta comunidad. Yo estoy mirando pasión aquí con todos ustedes, y poco a poco vamos a cambiar. Yo no parece a esta comunidad que es ghetto. I don't feel like I'm in a ghetto. I feel like I need to do more. And so I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And if you want to have other comments, I don't want to keep anybody, but thank you all for being here. And I really, really, I'm really just thankful that you're all here
Sign language tonight and the State of the Union tomorrow, or next week, don't forget. I was waiting for her. Well, I understand.
It's a community work, it's not always club. And I know because they told me what it is. It's community, we have a bunch of kids that they need to do. And they don't use it because there are a lot of them. Wow, there are a lot of them because we don't have time. That is Today I went back to work. I was not working on again? But they called me I'll go for it. It's only 3 weeks, but that I go to work.
It's good to see you. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. They won't give me a clear schedule of the conference. I want to be a board of the updates. I want to be at the meetings, but they still do this at the same time as every other meeting. So it's a conflict. And I'm like, oh, there's no conflict. I know there's a board member, there's no conflict. There's a conflict with the conflict. Oh, well, that's not part of the goals that we have. Hey,
and I still want to say, I think the whole I mean, is that we have.
Right? Oh, we're still
one thing at a time.
No, we can do multiple things. There's a lot of them, you know?
They're sending all the texts.
I'm going right there. All right. Right? No, it's just the I'm on Twitter because the band is on Facebook and so I was able to talk about the jobs and different things, right? I went to the Trump site. Oh yeah, definitely. I support free speech. I'm here to check them. I'm not here to help them. They're just not used to I'm trying to close it all up right now. I'm like, it's still live. I live in the hilltop area, so I'm local. I wouldn't go into an area that I don't live in, but I gotta put that on notice that they're being something now instead of people thinking this and not being recorded and not allowed to more people. And I'll be honest, she did a good job of publicizing the meeting, just to be honest. Last weekend was another one for a different council member, and it wasn't even on the city calendar. It wasn't, I'm checking all these things. If you watch, she put on the city calendar, she put the interview sweater, she does a little bit of social media, and so so there is a little bit of restriction, but the one thing I will give her credit for, she put it on the city's website. So at least, if that's what she's saying her website is, that's fine with me because she put it on the calendar. Other people don't even want to put things on the calendar, and then I have to call them out for it, and I need the community to support me when I'm calling them out on it. Because it doesn't just look bad for her, it looks bad for the police department, it looks bad. And so everybody was like, what do you mean you didn't put it on the calendar? You know, but for her, she put it on the calendar, she has to clerk here. I wish the police officers would have gotten a chance to do their presentation. Their attention seeking. Because when you have to, like, you have to be a little inflammatory because the thing is against us all the time. She's like saying something, I'm like, it's not a committee, it's a commission. So like, it's a pleasure to meet you. You have a wonderful night. Hopefully I'll see you at the next meeting. Big words when you don't want to record it and show the rest of the world. That's what I'm here for. She just needs to work on the commissions and the words that are actually the words, but it's just very minor, right? The other thing that I wish she would have given time for is the police department, because they do work hard to come here and put in time to be here, and if they don't even get a chance to speak, they kind of wasted their time, and that's what it shows on the video. So, you know, that's just fair criticism, though. No, I appreciate it. I'm really happy that you guys advertised it, right? And I'll say that loud and proud, because other members don't. Right. And I want to highlight those who do. So I appreciate it. The other one thing is like the paperwork. Right. You know, because people want to see this stuff. So if you know, if you're going to talk about all those things, you might bring the. But but that's very minor compared to like giving the police their time and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, this is way better than the other
one. So
no, exactly. Just try to rub off on some of the other council members. Is what I was gonna say.
some of them don't even do.
I know.
It's one of those things.
I appreciate you. Let me warn you though, I'm always live. Okay, so if you see my phone, it's okay, and I don't think you have anything to worry about. I just want to give you fair warning. Because the police know. Yeah. They don't come like because they don't want to be in there. But they're real cool, you know. So I just gotta give you your fair warning. Yeah. Will I see you guys down there at the Third Avenue, or?
I don't think we're gonna make it, unfortunately.
Okay.
I still gotta button up everything.
No, yeah, I did. I just figured I'd ask.
I hope the council brings it.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, no, definitely. My pleasure.
Bye.
I have one summer.
What I'm hearing is that we are.
I appreciate you guys. I know you guys didn't get time to talk, but I did tell them that it was my one criticism. So if they're going to invite you, they should give you a little time to at least say something. So God bless you guys. Have a good night.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
See you.
You too.
Yeah, huge.
I made a difference.
Thank you guys. Have a good night. All right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can also represent and stand up for the cops, because some of these council members will abuse their position and get them here and then not even let them speak. So, but that's our job. Our job is to hold everybody accountable. It's not to agree just to agree. My job is to review the experience and then give you my honest opinion of what I just saw. So she did a good job, don't get me wrong, but my one criticism is she didn't let the police department speak, and it would have been nice to let them at least say something. I mean, you're gonna invite them and not even let them say anything? So we're gonna be down on 3rd Avenue here shortly.